Good afternoon or evening, I guess it is. I want to say Happy New Year in advance. Again, this is water, not gasoline. And today's video, while not sponsored by this brand, today's scotch of the day is Lagavulin. Um, that's good. Anyway, so let's go ahead and talk about the presidential map. The fact that I went through and I collapsed. Whoops, sorry. I collapsed everything. I'm going to leave the quarters up until the end of January, and then I'm going to collapse them. Um, However, when you go to the states, you'll find I've done a 2019, as I didn't break that one up by quarter simply because there wasn't enough polling information, and um, it was primarily approval polls. And I've decided that as long as I'm going to keep using approval polls, which I think I should, because they do provide a decent idea of whether or not President Trump is actually liked in a state. They don't give a great example as to whether or not people are going to vote for him, because a lot of people will vote for a president they dislike. And it's just how things work, right? And I've decided that as long as I'm going to do that, I'm going to keep my fundamentals where they are in terms of how much of an effect they place on the race. I'm also going to try and collapse everything weekly if I can. Certain things I won't be able to. For example, states, and those will be done on a monthly basis. Um, if I get enough information. If not, I'll just do it whenever I start getting enough information in advance of the new year. Now, before I get into discussing the map and where everything stands, I want to state or get an idea of you know what people think of my channel. By the way, over the Christmas break, I actually hit my subscriber goal for the year, which is amazing. Um, and I'm going to go ahead and set a somewhat ambitious goal for 2020, which is to reach 1,000 subscribers. And the reason why I want to set that as the goal is because I experienced a tremendous amount of growth in 2016 when I started focusing on election forecasting and all that. And I feel like I should do the same thing for 2020. Because judging by the information I have, 2020 should be a good year for election forecasting and political channels in general. Um, anyway, um, the other thing I want to talk about is in the comments, I want y'all to. There are a few things I want to know. First, I want to know what you thought my best video of the year was. I want to know what y'all thought my worst video of the year was. And of course, I want to know what is your favorite gift that y'all got for Christmas, or whatever holiday you celebrate. If you celebrate Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or any other wintertime festival, I guess Diwali if you're Hindu. Um, but and by the way, these aren't shoulder pads. No, in all honesty, they aren't. I never get suits with shoulder pads. Mostly because I think they're stupid, but also because when I went in to get a custom tailored suit, the person who was measuring me, he put it on without anything in there. He was like, I've never said this before, but don't ever get a suit with shoulder pads. You don't need them. But anyway, so I'm going to state what I thought my best video of the year was. It was probably my first political soapbox episode where I actually scripted it out and did all that. And then again, the Hater's Guide to the Democratic Primary was also a decent video. Um, so I'm not sure. It's between those two for me. My worst video of the year, that's a tough one. I really don't know, but it might have been my attempts to play Fallout. Because no one really watched those, and I was kind of a bit rambly in those, and The series just didn't last because I kind of lost energy with no one actually watching the videos. So I said, screw it, I'm not going to do them anymore. Um, in addition, and of course, my other one, the best gift I got this year, it was either a really nice vest from my grandma, who, you know, she wants me to dress, she wants me to make sure that I dress very nicely and professionally and all that jazz. And of course, I've taken to sometimes wearing, these dress, like suit vests, the ones with the buttons and all that jazz. They look really nice, I think. And, right now I'm kind of dressed down because I'm, off of work right now. But I still wanted to wear something nice. Um, But other than that, the best gift I got was probably some black garlic that my mom got me because she knows I like to cook, and like, you know, I really like garlic, and black garlic is it's a bit harder of an ingredient to find, but there's some good uses for it. I personally like making an aioli for whenever I want a burger or something with it. Um, Not quite black garlic mayo, but sort of. Basically, I took inspiration from Bob's Burgers, and it's actually really good. Anyway, moving on to the map, let's go ahead and talk about the way things are. So, when I collapsed all the information, it didn't really actually change the averages all that much. It somewhat boosted Trump in a few states where he was kind of liked as it was, and it kind of hurt him in some states where he was not very well liked, which I guess is to be expected. But overall, it didn't really do anything significant except for the overall approval rating, which even then it didn't significantly change in the slightest. So that's kind of that. The Senate model, I'm not going to collapse it because I just don't have enough information to justify doing so. In addition, I really don't know. And, in addition, I really don't know if I should be. If I need to make any other adjustments to the Senate model just yet, but I also can't know that with the limited information that's coming out. Again, I'll start collapsing and adjusting stuff when I start getting accurate, high quality polls. Um, the other thing I've done is looking at everything in a vacuum. The economy's actually done pretty well this year. About the only real fundamental that hasn't done well is wages are kind of still stagnant. There has been some increase over Trump's presidency, but it's not really significant on the grand scale. But inflation remains fairly low. People are getting joblessness is pretty low. Um, so what I mean by that is the unemployment rate is low, but I don't really factor that in as much as I factor in inflation. The index funds are doing extremely well. The dollar's pretty strong. There are a few areas where it's not, but who knows? But I decided to actually increase the economic factor in favor of Donald Trump. And honestly, this year, based off of my model and based off of what I'm looking at, I kind of expect Donald Trump to. uh, I still consider him the favorite to win the election, but it's not a big favorite. And the other thing is, I'm expecting a nail biter, which this map clearly shows. And this is just what the model says in terms of percentages. And anybody who's been a long time viewer of my channel knows what the percentages for tilt, lean, likely, and safe are. But for those who are unfamiliar, tilt is anything within 5%, which I think is actually fair because that's what winds up happening with on average, with states that are given a tilt rating by the professionals, say Sabato, Cook Political Report, and Inside Elections. Lean is anything within 10, and again, that's consistent, and likely is anything within 15, and again, that is consistent. Um, and other than that, I wouldn't be too shocked at another electoral college popular vote split. And I really don't actually expect anyone to cross 50%. But we'll see as the primary season starts getting underway what happens, any of the craziness. The Democrats are probably going to eat each other alive and maybe ruin their chance at unseating an incumbent. But we don't know that. Um, and if you see me, holding on to my thumb a little bit, it's because over the past week, actually last Monday, I went skiing and I crashed. Literally once. And I sprained the ever loving tar out of my thumb and actually bruised the knuckle bone in it. For those of you who are on the Yamps or however you say it, uh, any of you who are on that Discord probably already knew that, but that was kind of that was kind of fun. It was a fun day in the ER, that's for sure. The concern was that I had broken my thumb, which was my first thought, but And thankfully that wasn't the case, and it's probably all the more shocking because I actually broke one of the skis. Oh, that was a fun day. I will say that much. Anyway, I want to thank all y'all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy. Have a nice day. Have a very happy new year and stay safe out there. And I guess I'll see you guys in 2020. Bye bye.